Here begins the story of Yinka's secret life. Yinka Adeyemi was the perfect definition of an ordinary woman. By day, she was a quiet, diligent librarian at Lagos Central Library, spending her time among dusty books and whispering patrons. She lived in a modest apartment, had few close friends, and rarely spoke unless spoken to. To everyone who knew her, Yinka was just another face in the crowd, harmless, predictable, and utterly unremarkable. But Yinka had a secret. When the sun set and the city's neon lights flickered to life, Yinka transformed. She became Adesewa, an underground storyteller known for weaving tales that exposed the darkest secrets of the city's elite. Using a disguised voice and a digital avatar, she ran a Faceless YouTube channel where she narrated shocking but true folktale-inspired scandals. No one knew who Adesewa really was, but her stories made politicians, businessmen, and criminals alike tremble. One evening, Yinka received an anonymous message. "You think secrets are only yours to reveal? Someone is watching, Adesewa." Her heart pounded. No one was supposed to know her identity. She had covered her tracks, encrypted files, burner phones, and untraceable VPNs. Yet, someone had found her. Days passed, and more threats came. Strange shadows lingered outside her apartment. Her laptop started acting strangely. Then, a news alert popped up on her screen. Anonymous storyteller Adesewa under investigation, authorities closing in. Panic gripped her. If she was exposed, her life would be over. The people she had exposed wouldn't just let her go, they would silence her forever. Yinka had one option left. She had to disappear. But before vanishing, she would release one final story, a story so powerful it would shake Lagos to its core. She walked through the night, piecing together the ultimate expose, the truth about a high-ranking official whose greed and corruption had cost innocent lives. Then, as the sun began to rise, she scheduled the upload and walked away. Hours later, the video went live. The internet exploded. The official was arrested. The city was in chaos. But Yinka, she was gone. Some say she fled the country. Others believe she reinvented herself and started again. But one thing was certain, her stories lived on, whispered in the streets, passed down like the folktales she once loved. And somewhere, in the shadows, Adesewa was still watching. Months had passed since Adesewa's final expose shook Lagos. The corrupt official was in custody, and many believed that was the end of her story. But then, something strange happened. A new video appeared on Adesewa's YouTube channel. It was different from her usual upload, just a single line of text over a black screen. "You can never silence a story." The video had no voiceover, no background music, no narration. Yet, within hours, it went viral. People speculated, was Yinka back? Was someone else controlling the channel? Had she left a backup plan in place? Far from Lagos, in a quiet coastal town, Yinka watched from a small, dimly lit cafe. She wore a simple headscarf and a pair of dark glasses, blending into the crowd. Her old life was gone, but her mission wasn't. She had anticipated the risk of exposure and left behind a series of pre-scheduled videos, each containing breadcrumbs leading to more hidden truths. And now, as the world debated whether Adesewa was truly gone, Yinka was already planning her next move. Just as she began to feel safe, a newspaper headline caught her eye. Mysterious death of investigative journalist linked to Adesewa's expose. Her stomach twisted. The journalist had been one of her sources, someone who had provided her with evidence for her final video. His death wasn't an accident, it was a warning. Yinka realized that the people she had exposed weren't just angry. They were hunting her. She had two choices, disappear completely or fight back. But Yinka was never just a storyteller. She was a warrior of truth, and warriors didn't run. She picked up her phone and logged into her hidden account. A new story needed to be told. This time, it wasn't just about corruption. It was about revenge. Yinka knew she had to be smarter than before. She couldn't just expose corruption, she had to stay ahead of those trying to silence her. Using an encrypted network, she reached out to an old contact, a hacker named OSI. He owed her a favor. "I need everything on the people behind the journalist's death," she typed. Within hours, a new folder appeared on her hidden server. Inside were names, locations, and financial records, evidence that the journalist had been killed on orders from a shadowy group tied to powerful politicians and businessmen. Yinka didn't just have a story. She had a weapon. That night, a new video dropped on her channel. They thought they could bury the truth. But the truth has a way of digging itself out. The video contained no direct accusations, just breadcrumbs, hints leading the public to investigate the powerful figures behind the scandal. Within hours, social media was ablaze with speculation. The people hunting her were now being hunted by the truth. But just as she thought she was in control, OSI sent another message. "Someone is looking for you. They are close." Yinka's blood ran cold. Someone had found traces of her digital footprint. Worse, they had used someone inside her old circle, someone she trusted, to track her. She wasn't just fighting corrupt officials anymore. She was fighting ghosts in her own network. Yinka had a choice: disappear again or take one final risk. She booked a ticket out of the country but set a final trap before leaving, a timed release of the most damning evidence she had, designed to expose her pursuers just as they closed in. As she sat at the airport, waiting for her flight, she watched as her final video went live. The news exploded. Arrests began. The internet dissected every piece of evidence. And Yinka, now just another nameless traveler, walked away. But even as she left, she knew the truth. Adesewa was not just a person. She was a story. And stories never die.